Pete here. Been watching this Rugby World Cup in Japan. It's been absolutely fantastic. And as you know, my son Ben has been refereeing over there and by all accounts doing a pretty good job. But as I was watching this World Cup, I realised that this rugby is really like business. But a couple of facts for the World Cup. Did you know that in every scrum, the referee can actually blow 308 penalties? Or at the line out, they can actually blow for 416 penalties. Now imagine if they looked at the letter of the law, they'd be blowing every scrum and line out because so much is happening. But it's about the decision making by these individual referees, but also the players. And I thought it's so much like business. Now, I want you to come with me because I want to teach you a couple of lessons that the Rugby World Cup has taught me about business. So I'll see you soon. I'm going to keep practicing my kicking because it's not particularly good at present. Three things about this Rugby World Cup that's a little bit like business. The first one I want to talk about is referees. As you know, I did a bit of refereeing myself, but Ben has done so much better. He's done really well. But, the referees, they're a team of three. In fact, no, they're a team of four because you've got your television match official as well. Now, if they didn't work as a team, this game would just go into chaos because referees have got to make split-second decisions. And you see 8 big burly guys from either side just colliding into each other to try and get this thing back to the halfback so he can fire it out to the back line. And it's really interesting in rugby, you've got to go backwards to go forwards. What do I mean by that? Well, you can't forward pass. So sometimes you've got to go backwards to go forwards. Now, with the referees, they've got to make these split-second decisions. Now, do they get them all right? No, they don't. But the thing is, they've made a decision, and it's really good in rugby that the players actually respect the referee's decision, whether they've got it right or wrong. They may not agree with it, but they actually go along with it. And it's the same in business. You've got to make decisions. And sometimes your decisions in business, you don't know if they're right or wrong for some 2 or 3 months or even a year later. But if you don't make a decision, then nothing's going to happen. Could you imagine in a game of rugby if the referee just stood there and made no decisions at all? It would just descend into absolute chaos. So the thing is, decision making is so important in business and in the game of rugby. So you've got to make your decisions. And if I'm allowed to say it, I look at this Brexit debacle at present, and regardless of which way you actually voted, the fact is the politicians aren't making a decision to move us forward. And it's like in business, you've got to make decisions to move forward. The sooner the politicians can make a decision that is for the benefit of the whole of the country, like referees do in rugby, or you do in business, it's about the benefit for the whole business, the better off we're going to be. So the first one is, don't have a go at the referees anymore, just like the business leader, because they're making decisions with the best available information at the time. So that's the first one. Make decisions. Rugby coaches. Who would be a rugby coach? But I must admit, Eddie Jones and Steve Hansen are just two amazing rugby coaches. And the really important thing is that rugby coaches actually have a plan and a structure for the game of rugby, just like we should in business. Now, Eddie Jones doesn't send his 15 players out onto the field and say, hey, pass the ball around. They actually have a plan for just about every move and every play that they're doing that day, whether it comes down to a scrum, whether it comes to line out, or just for the ruck and maul. Now, if they didn't have that plan, then the players would just go out as individuals and they wouldn't know what was doing. They wouldn't know what their mate was doing. So it's really important that the coach has a plan and a vision to win the game, and that he actually lets the players know what that plan is, what that vision is. Because if he doesn't, players don't know what he wants. So the same in business, that you must have a plan and an end goal for your business. And really importantly, that when you have that plan and that vision, you've got to tell your team about it. So you've got to let your people in the business know where it is you're heading to, just like Eddie Jones and Steve Hansen do with the English and the All Blacks. Once the people know that plan, then it's up to them to implement it. And sometimes you're going to say to these the players or your people in business, here is the plan, go and implement it. We're going to take the hill here. You have to make your way up there. How are you going to do that? Let the people actually make their way up the hill so they're actually going to win the game or win the business for you. So like in the game of rugby, the coaches have a plan and a vision, and they show the players what that plan and that structure is to win the game. It's the same in business. You got to do the same. Show your people what it is that you want to achieve, what your end goal is, what your vision is. Let's talk about players and your team members, the next one. Talk soon. Team members, the players. If the players or your team members aren't aligned to your vision or where you're going, they're not going to actually help you achieve your game plan. And we've got to have rugby players and we've got to have team members who want to be aligned to what we're trying to achieve as the business leader. Because we're going to do the plan, and we're going to give it to the individuals, then they've got to actually implement that plan. And if they're not on board with you, if they want to go and do their own thing, then the plan's not going to work. It's the same as Eddie Jones sends out his 15 players. They think, stuff it, I'm not going to go with Eddie's plan at all. I'm just going to do my own thing. The game plan, the game isn't going to be won. So you've got to have a group of individuals that come together as a team, and you've got to mould them as a team as the business owner, so that they will actually implement your plan. And when you do that, all of a sudden, you're going to have a group and a team of people who are actually going to be better than a group of individuals. In fact, they reckon that an average team does far better than individual stars if you want to implement and win games. So ensure that you have a whole lot of people in your team that are aligned to where you want to go. All right, don't let them off. All right, ensure they've got KPIs so that you can actually measure their output, what they're doing, so you can actually ensure that they are doing exactly what you want to implement your plan to get to where you want to get to. So there are 3 things just in rugby that I thought I'd teach you about with business as well. So we've got the referees about decision making. We've got the coach, who's the leader or the boss, implementing the vision. And lastly, we've got the individuals. So when you combine all of these 3 things together, you're going to have a really good business. And this all comes from the Rugby World Cup. And it's just been an amazing tournament so far. If you want to know more about this, then have a look below at our link and you'll see the opportunities to either come to a couple of our courses or a course where you can actually start to implement some of these things into your business. Hey, on Tuesday, the 12th of November, Janelle and I are running a business mastermind in the Tudor Park golf course in Maidstone. We'd love you to come along. The investment is £50, all right, for the day. But what gets even better is that when you come and you stay here for the full day, we'll actually give you £50 back. So you've got an investment for $0. Why are we doing this? Well, firstly, we want to talk about business. We're going to give you some ideas, some strategies to put into your business that will help you to start making money. So every £1 that you invest, will hopefully you get £2 back there. What we want you to do is to ensure that the people that come along get the best out of the day. And quite often people talk the good talk, but they don't actually do the good game. So that's why we're asking some money up front to see if you're serious or not about coming along. When you do, you're going to get some really good strategies for your business. And we're going to talk a little bit about rugby as well, because there's so many things in rugby that can be ventured into our business as well. So Tuesday, the 12th of November, 9:30 till 5 o'clock. And we were looking at a whole lot of strategies to be really good in business and to make money. If you'd like to come along, then email us, which is down below here, or give us a phone call, and we've got that as well for you. We'll look forward to seeing you there. Now, there's only 12 places, and about 7 of them are gone already, so we've got 5 places to go. If you want to be part of this, then get your registration in quickly. See you there.